Now the last couple of the videos on the EVIL Twin project, we got this part done. Hopefully that polished up pretty nice. I still need to paint the back part like Suzuki did. And I'm trying to decide whether I want to use silver primer, or I really want to get, primer's not going to work on that. You know what, I got to get header paint. And I'll get that in the next couple of days. But now the big job today. We've done all the little parts. Done all of these little parts. Time to get the big stuff done. So what I did here, and this is one of the pieces that still has to be cleaned up. Still has to be the rust removed. I got some silver. It's actually not silver. It's gray header paint. That should be high temperature enough to resist the rust, because I don't want it to go back to looking like that. So before I do anything, I'm going to get the rest of this done and then move on to the big parts, and that's going to be a real challenge. Now this is the last of the small parts. We have all the bolts done, all the little parts. These are ready for a final polish at some point in time. I think they're going to be just fine. And because these parts basically are unobtainable, it's worth restoring them and trying to preserve them. And it's always a good moment. I can add some parts to the clean table, the parts that are ready for the next step. But now the big one, and boy, this is the one I've been dreading. Now I always save the biggest part, and you notice the sequence I did this in. Smallest parts first, bolts, and then save the big heavy part for last. Now of course I have two of these. Now the thing to do right now is to evaluate the parts. This part I just want to wire brush down. I want to get back to basically to some bare metal there. Up here where it's pitted, get rid of some of the rust. Back here, and we've done this with the other pipes, clean some of that up. The front of the pipe that you see, the parts of this that I'm going to see, I would like to polish as nicely as possible. And also this part of the muffler, which is pretty well scratched up. I don't know how nice that's going to come out. But I do know one of the choices I have here is just grind away at it. And see, what Suzuki did was really smart. See where the chrome ends? In here, on the other parts, they put some, I think it's header paint. But they didn't even try to polish that at all. So they were very careful about where to polish. It's like furniture. Now, Karen and I bought some furniture one time. And I looked at the finish on it and I said, wow, that's incredible, that finish. And then I turned the furniture over to put these little sliders on, and there was no finish on the bottom that you didn't see. Well, this is all going to come out with that heavy wire wheel. And then what happens, these parts don't come off. I've got to do these individually. Somehow I'll have to improvise how I'm going to do that. But the point is, I always save the biggest part for the end of the job. And hopefully in the next day or two, I can get this cranked out, and we'll have this whole exhaust system. And it'll be preserved, because I'm not going to put it back out in the tundra. I'm going to keep it in the shop. Now just one quick example of, if you let this go, at some point in time it's not worth restoring. I think we're still on the side of where this is worth putting a couple of days of grinding and polishing in. And the point is, you can't buy it anyway. And if you buy one off the internet, it's probably not going to be, may not even be as good as this. Some of the stuff I bought off the internet. But anyway, we have the ability to clean things up to a point. And then we always have, and I always think this is the final option. The final option is, once this is as clean as I can get it, if we ever decided we wanted to re-chrome it, and that probably, not probably, I don't, it's just not in my playbook. I would spend a lot more time, but we'll have a part that's preserved. And you just can't go get these parts. That's the problem. When you have a 37-year-old bike, you've got to be very creative. And time to get out the wire wheels and get to work. wanted to show this, but this is the parts you're not going to see. I can wire wheel all that rust off. I'm not going to be able to do that on the parts that you do see that need to be polished. Now, it's really time consuming. Takes time. I probably will only get one part done today, but you can see what's happening. What this is good for now, it's just way too aggressive to do on parts you're going to polish. But down here, getting that rust off. And it just, like a lot of things in life, it just takes a little bit of elbow grease. Now again, the blue, the orange, they all have their uses. Some are stiffer than others, but they will all do a good job of getting rid of, and I don't know if you can really see this. Now, it's on some metals, and I don't know why this is, the blue seems to put a nicer shine on some, the orange, a different shine. Now, it seems like on this piece of metal, the orange leaves a nice luster. But the only way you know is you've got to try, at least me, my own way of doing this. I just pick up one of the other ones, and let me just see, let's use a soft one. And the soft wire wheel, I'm not sure because of, if you can see just how much, we've got 3 different things on this already. There's still some deep pits, but I'm not going to try to grind through the pits. The pits here, because we're not going to see this part, obviously, but the parts we are going to see, I'd like to clean up with the soft material so I can polish it with the polisher. Now, I wish there was some magic formula. There isn't. The magic formula is you try all your cutters, knowing a little bit ahead of time which are the most aggressive and which are going to work the best. You never know until you try this. This one always works good on aluminum. Now, and of course, you're doing this cleanup, something you would never notice if you left it rusty. See how that pipe is cracked there? So we'll obviously get it brazed or welded. So the next part of this, of course, is just to flip it over, do the same thing on this side. We have the same issue, that area in there. I know you're not going to see this because that cover covers it. So where I'm not going to see it, I can wire brush it. Where I am going to see it, I can polish it. Now, as this job is pressing on for several hours now, what I've learned is that this is a cracked part that I have to fix. I got a strip screw I got to get out. And also on the parts like this, I'm just using a wire wheel on the parts that I know I'm not going to see. But I do want to get the rust off. And I want to be very careful, the parts that I am going to see, I don't want any wire wheel scratches on them. And back here, you're not going to see it anyway. Because these pieces don't actually come off, I'm going to have to clean them up in place. And it looks like they'll clean up. It actually did clean up pretty good. A little bit more work. And now the next thing is, because I don't want to use any wire wheel on this chrome, do this all with the buffing wheel and just get it as good as we can. There are some scratches, and especially back here there's some real things, but considering that part no longer available, and this will keep the bike totally stock, have a totally stock exhaust system. Looks like it's gonna come out. You never know until you're done. Little by little, it's just going to be time consuming. Now I'm just trying to get as much of this. The whole idea is to get the rust off, get the polisher. We can even repolish it once it's on the bike. But, and of course from time to time it needs to be, any chrome needs to be repolished. But just to get most of it off would be very nice. And I think we got one done today. It's been a long, long day, but we got one done. What that, stop that. What that usually means is, this is only one piece. We got another piece ahead of us. It's a long day. Well, all the work I put into that, it looks like it's going to pay off. It's a usable exhaust system. And everybody that watched the video can see what we started with. Now, there's only one problem. Small problem. I have the other side to do. And that'll be a project for another day. Now, amazingly enough, most of the parts you see, the parts that actually are going to be visible when you look at the motorcycle, are not terrible. I'd say they're 90%. And I will get, next time I can get a chance to paint, I'll paint this back part of the exhaust system just like Suzuki did. That was quite a project, and we still have the other piece to do. Now, if you got nothing to do this afternoon or tomorrow, come on over and do it for me. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. I thought I'd end this on a positive note. Just knowing that you're coming over and you're going to take care of this whole thing for me. And see this? This is what makes this EVIL. The EVIL Twin Project. Again, thanks for watching.